I'm Natelle Williams, a women's occasion wear designer and founder of the Natelle Williams brand. Welcome to my personal diary, a safe space for us to talk about business, fashion, life, and everything in between. I'm on a journey to build my brand, and if you're listening to this, I'm glad to have you here. Let's talk about what's behind me here. There's a backstory. Of course, I love a story. In 2023, I lost my grandmother. Like I said, she was a big, big force in my life. We were very, very close, and although she wasn't in the best health, she was 86 when she died. And, there were a number of health issues that she had, which you can imagine that it was nothing kind of crazy. As you get older, you develop certain conditions, and it intensified in her last days, and she developed a number of infections and whatnot, and she passed away at that time. But it wasn't expected. It's not like she was terminally ill or anything like that. So you could say that her death came as a surprise at the time. Now, she was a very particular lady. I'm very particular, and I think I get a lot of that from her. But she was a very particular lady, and years before, she could even have been 10 to 15 years before she passed away. She went to a dressmaker in Jamaica, which is where she was from, while she was on holiday one year, and had a dress made to be buried in. I don't know how common that is actually. I know it's a very big thing. Open caskets in the Christian Caribbean community, that's a big thing. And I think in other parts of the world it is a big thing as well. But I know in terms of the community that she's accustomed to, and she's, church lady, so she went to many a funeral. That was the done thing. So she knew that's what she would like when her time came, and she knew exactly the kind of dress she wanted. She knew she wanted it to look a particular way, particular colour, particular fabric, etc. This dress was made. Somehow, we still don't know as a family, we don't know how it happened, but the dress became lost. And at the time that she died, it was a big thing. What is she going to be buried in? And in 2023, like I said, if you listen to my previous videos, the business wasn't established. I was just doing things on the weekends and after work as and where I could. Just sewing bits and bobs. If I had an event, I'd sew something, but there was nothing significant that I was doing at that time. So we came together as a family. We were planning the funeral. She had a service here in the UK, and then her body was flown back to Jamaica, and she was buried there, and she had another service there. She had 2 funerals. And she was buried where she asked to be buried, which is in her home country. So that just meant it was double the significance that she was going to have two services, and that dress needed to be right, and I felt like that was for me to do. So I took it upon myself to make her burial gown. I bought the most beautiful fabric that I could find. It was actually the same as this. This is a pink version, but hers was gold. And it had, a bit of glitter all the way through it, the embellishment, and then some gold pearls. It's literally the same fabric, just this is the pink version. And the underdress, so that's the overcoat, the underdress was the same design, but again it was a cream as opposed to the off-white that you see here. And that's what I made for her. Made it very, very cool. So again, I was working at the time, and I was making it in the evenings, because it was all very quick. It was very fast. So that's how that came about. And I made the dress. she was dressed, she had the open casket, and I felt like that I never saw the dress. No one ever saw the gown that she had made when she was alive. I don't know what it looked like, but knowing my grandmother, knowing the lady that she appreciated fine fabrics, she appreciated beauty. She loved anything beautiful. She would always buy the best of everything, the most expensive everything, the best of everything. And I made a dress that would fit her personality, represented the queen that she was, basically. So I've just kicked the camera. So that was the first burial dress that I made. A few weeks ago, I had another death in the family. It was actually my grandmother's sister, so my great aunt, who was actually my godmother as well. And she and my mother were very, very close. Naturally, I was close to her as well, although she lived in Jamaica, but we spent a lot of time together when I was a young child, and we lived in London together. So again, from here, there wasn't a lot that I could do in the way of, being on hand support at that time. Again, it was she died very quickly. It wasn't really expected. But I said, this I can do. So again, I made the same design. Hers was actually the same material that you see here for the off-white colour, the off-white dress, and the overcoat was a lilac. So this is the pink. It was a lilac that I chose for her, and bought some other bits to accompany that: tights, gloves, made a headscarf, as it's custom to cover the head, and some white shoes, and sent that to Jamaica, which is where she will be buried also. Now, that process just made me think, when the time comes and you are dealing with people who know exactly what they want, they are, older women who have probably, whether they've been religious or not, but they might have had a more modest way of dressing, could be church ladies, and they know they want that open casket, and they're very sure of themselves. They like nice things, they like to look nice. Why not give them the same level of attention to detail for their last outfit? When I was Googling burial dresses the first time around, I didn't see anything that, stood out to me. I didn't see anything that fit that brief. I didn't see anything that would represent my grandmother. I wouldn't see anything that I could say, yes, I will be proud to purchase this for her and have this be her last, the last memory that everyone would have of her. I didn't see that. So I created something. And again, same situation. I want to give that extra special thought, that signature, you can customise with the colours, still obviously appropriate in terms of the design, which we'll go through in a second, but something that's special, something that's elegant, something that's timeless, something that is beautiful and represents the woman to the very last moment. That's what I wanted to create. That's what I would want for my own family members. That's what I've given to my own family members. And I thought that other people might want to benefit from that level of detail and that garments like that as well. So I am creating these to sell. And it is something that I'm passionate about, and I'm actively going to be working on partnerships with the relevant companies and individuals that can help me on this mission to make burial gowns available to the people that need it, and the people who would want to give that extra amount of thought to that final outfit and that resting outfit. So let's talk about what that looks like. You know, let's face it, nobody really wants to speak about funerals. It's not a topic that anyone wants to talk about on a regular basis. It's not something that we really think about. Weddings, other occasions, great, but what you're going to wear to your funeral is not really a conversation for around the dinner table or a night out with the girls. So it's nice to have options. It's nice to have options, especially when you are put in a position where you have to plan something for somebody who is very dear to you and very special to you, and you don't have something in mind already. It's nice to be given an option of something beautiful, something that looks and feels delicate and would represent that person. Yeah, that's what I want to be able to offer with this range. That's the goal. So with that, the overcoat that you can see is customizable, and that comes in 6 different colours. So we have pink, like you can see here, lilac, blue, silver, green, and gold. Is that 6? Pink, lilac, green, silver, gold, and blue. 6. The underdress, so the main dress is always an off-white to keep it clean, you know, that modest purity. I think that's the most fitting colour. A natural / off-white, available in 3 fabrics: a silk polyester, satin polyester, silk, 100% silk, and 100% cotton. So no matter what the budget is, no matter the beliefs of the person, whether they were, you know, environmentally conscious or preferred the finer things in life, there is an option for everybody. And that's now available on my website at www.natellewilliams.com. So you can find more information there, along with pricing and how you can order.